Hello, today will be an interesting one. I'll just go straight to it. And I'm going to be comparing the Lumix S5II, which I'm shooting with right now, so I can't show you, with the Lumix S1R II, which I've returned as well. But I will be showing videos every now and then to see the difference and also with practical examples. So this is from a non-techy perspective. So if you're looking for the area to show you how many bit rates, blah, 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 all them things, then look for the right YouTube channel. My own will really be practical use cases and to see if there's any visible difference, practical differences between both of them. And then I'll give recommendations at the end of the video. So stay tuned. Okay, I've written it down. I've just put it down so that I've put a guideline down so that I could be in line with what I'm talking about. Yes, so I rented the S1R II for a few days, a short-term loan, and then I used it in different scenarios with my Lumix S5II where I could, and then took the same exact photos in the same scenarios. And what I'll be using to compare today will be straight out of the camera, like no editing, no touching, and then you can see straight away if there is a visible difference between the Lumix S1R II and the Lumix S5II. First thing to note in both cases is the price. I'll put the price on the top. And this one is the main matter because, yeah, one is noticeably more expensive. The Lumix S5II is going for about £1,800 or $2,000. I think you can find it for much less than this. I don't know where this information came from, but you can find it for £1,300. You can even find it for £1,200. They're having good deals, and you could get them together with a lens, which is incredible for what this camera that I'm shooting on can do. Yeah, and then the Lumix S1R II is going for about £3,200, £3,300, and that's about $3,700 without the lens alone, camera alone, body alone. And then sometimes they do have these bundles where if you buy it with a 24-105 Lumix lens, you could get it for a cheaper price, as in when you take into account the price of the lens and the body. So yeah, just put that in mind when I'm comparing both of them and see if it is worth upgrading or not, because that's the point of the video. Okay, the next thing, the first thing I will touch on now is the ergonomics, the way the body looks and everything and how it feels in hand. Personally, from other videos, they've said that, oh, the S1R II has a firmer, it's bigger and feels more sturdier. For me, I personally prefer the ergonomics of the Lumix S5II. It's not as big, especially in the grip side. I think I'll have some video to show when I'm gripping it. I've got pretty long hands, so the S1R II, even if it's longer, is not a problem, but it just feels more balanced when I'm with the Lumix S5II versus the S1R II. So yeah, you can take that as well. If you prefer the sturdier, bigger one, then the S1R II is for you. The S1R II anyway feels more pro body and heavier. I think that's what the term they use. But personally, I prefer the grip of the S5II, and that's me. And some people would love the bigger one, but that's for you. I don't use the other thing that was the tilt screen, which I'll show now. You can bring it out, and it's pretty nice and everything. But do I use it? Not really. Maybe because I've been used to the S5II, so I don't really see the use case. Maybe if you're using the gimbal and you need to bring it out so you can see when you put it down and everything. Personally, I don't see the use. It's cool though. But one thing I would note is the screen quality. I don't know what the term would be, but it looks much better when not much better. It looks noticeably better when I'm looking at the photos at the back of the LCD screen of the Lumix S1R II versus the Lumix S5II. There's something about it. It pops more. So take that as well. And now let's go to the functions and features. Functions wise, both cameras feel pretty similar in a day-to-day use, to be honest, like especially in the functions in the camera and everything, how you set everything up. I won't go into that. More people would have more details about those stuff, but it's basically the same. everything, but obviously some added stuff that you might not notice in the S1R II. Okay, now is the main thing that matters to me, the image quality from both Lumix S1R II and Lumix X5II. Because for me, that's what all this is about. If you can put all the bells and whistles and the image quality is still there, then it's of no point to me. So the Lumix S1R II has a 44 megapixel. If I'm incorrect, I will put the correct one. And Lumix S5II has got a 24.2 megapixel. If I'm wrong, I will put the right one on the screen. So does this megapixel and the 8K sensor in the Lumix S1R II make it much more nice or make the image quality pop out more? We'll see. So for this section, I will put pictures every now and then. So I did what do you call it? A pregnancy photo shoot for my wife. I'm expecting a boy very soon. And so in this pregnancy photo shoot, since it's my wife, I used the opportunity to take the two cameras and set it up right here with the same background and put the two cameras to test. I took some pictures with the Lumix S5II and I took some pictures with the Lumix S1R II. And I'll put the two pictures so that you can compare and see. This will be straight out of camera, standard profile pictures, no touching and everything. So you would see what goes on. The first thing that pops out straight away to me was the fact that the Lumix S1R II, being a little technical now, goes down to 80 ISO. Meanwhile, for the Lumix S5II, it starts from 100 ISO. So maybe going that low, when I put all the lights, could generate more quality or stuff, give more details. We'll see. But that's something that stood out to me. For me personally, when you're talking of photos now, when I looked at the photos, straight away I could see the fidelity. There's a color fidelity. There's something, it pops out. People have said that thing that's a factor that they can't really put their finger on, and I agree with them. It's really nice. And another thing is I could punch in because of the high megapixel count and the 8K says I could punch in without losing any quality. So that's a good thing with the Lumix S1R II. And then the Lumix S5II still held its own, as you can see. And by the time you look at these pictures on your phone screen, a lot of times you might not tell the difference. But yeah, in the photo side of things, the S1R II comes on top. Yeah, I'll give it to them. But and this is another but. When you come into real life now, because most people can come here and just compare. Now, my wife preferred the photos straight out of camera from the Lumix S5II. And she, for some reason, she said like there's something about that she likes. And I think maybe it's the sharpness and the fact that maybe it was on. Most of my photos were on 80 ISO, and the Lumix S1R II about 100. So it turned out to be a little brighter. Maybe that's what made it more pleasing to our eyes, or the sharpness as well. Because in the S1R II is more, it gives this a more true to life, organic, cool, and warm feel. So maybe that's what happened there. But personally, she preferred, not in all cases, but in quite a lot of cases, prefer the pictures from the S5II, which is more than £1,000 less. So take that with what you want. So at the end of the day, it's for the client, not for us camera gurus and stuff like that. So another thing, and the next thing I'll touch on now is the video side of things. I'll put videos side by side. If you want deep dive into video specs, there are better people to do that. I'll just go with what I use. I personally don't use RAW, so I don't see the point for me, especially for things like weddings and content like this. It's overkill. I won't need RAW. I can control. No, I'm not perfect, but I can control the balance, the exposure, and the colors to a good extent that I can play around with it in DaVinci or any software to do color correction. So I've never seen the need to shoot RAW. Maybe only if doing them short 45 seconds social media clip maybe then there will be that use case to do that. But for me, no need. I'm just shooting vlog, and that's good enough for me in the dual native ISO base. And I think personally, talking about video, I'll have some low light videos here. I think the Lumix S5II perform better. I don't know what it is, but I think the Lumix S5II perform better in low light. And low light photography and videography is a thing for me. And just to note as well, the lenses I've been using for this would be the Sigma Art 35mm f1.4. And if you want to buy me the f1.2, feel free. I've been putting my eye on that lens. And every now and then I would also use the 85mm Lumix 85mm f1.8 as well. So those are the two lenses I've been using. And when I compare, it is the same lens on the body. Everything's the same. Okay, cool. Moving on. Stability. I was hearing a lot of noise about the S1R II being even more stable and everything. Personally, I didn't notice. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe because I'm quite steady, to be honest. So it felt the same when I did the video handheld with the Lumix S1R II versus the Lumix S5II. So that's for me. But there's something, the cropless stabilization, when you're using a Lumix lens, it didn't work for the Sigma. You could do a cropless stabilization. That means when you put it on the cropless stabilizer, it will stabilize some kind of magic. I don't know what's going on, but it will stabilize the footage without chipping it. Because usually when you stabilize the footage, it causes a crop into the image, but this won't happen. So yeah, that's good. Slow motion. Yeah, that's one area where the Lumix S1R II comes on top. It's got 60, it's got 100, I believe. I'm not sure, without a crop, or I believe it's just 4K 60 without a crop, which the Lumix S5II doesn't have. Lumix S5II will go down to 1.5 times crop. Look at me, I'm having all these numbers in my head. I'll put, if I'm saying rubbish, I'll correct myself anyway. And yeah, so that's it about that. Now, finally, my final thoughts. If you're doing studio work, product photography, landscapes, you need all the details, high-end work, then yes, the Lumix S1R II is what they upgrade from the S5II if you have one already, or you're looking to get into the Lumix ecosystem, then S1R II is for you, because it does have 44 plus megapixel. I keep on thinking, I'm not sure what the megapixel count is, and an 8K sensor. So that would definitely do you good for landscape photography and studio photography and stuff like that. But still, just to put a caveat, the Lumix S5II is capable. Yeah. Anyway, the other thing is, if you are a prosumer consumer and you still need, but you just require the highest quality possible for your photos, then go for the S1R II. But as I keep on saying, the S5II is more than capable. Now, finally, is the upgrade worth it? Personally, for me, no. I think I can do everything I want with the S5II. You know when they say this thing of what's that economic term? Yeah, diminishing returns. So it's gotten to a level of diminishing returns. I believe for me that would be the case. If I get an S1R II, I would have a buyer's guilt, because there will be no need personally for me to go to S1R II. There's the desire and the plus, like the stills, the photos that would definitely come out more glorious. My argument to that is that any of this can be done in post, I think, to a good extent. You could get close. Do you want to spend 1,000 plus pounds, double the amount, when you could get, I would rather get more lenses than go for the S1R II, because I personally don't use internal RAW or RAW in any case. I do need it every now and then because I do outdoor photo shoots and stuff like that, wedding photo shoots and things like that. But I think I can do well with my S5II as it's working for me right now. There's no need to go that end. But if you are rich and you have the money and you want to go, it's good to have, because one thing I would say, the pictures. Whew, I saw it and I was like, straight out of the camera, it was glorious and everything. So those are my 2 cents and everything. Yeah. So if you are like me, I'd rather get like nice lenses, and that will make much more difference to me, I believe, than the camera you get. And then learn your editing, your post production and everything to be more efficient, because yes, obviously, you, at the end of the day, when you get photos from both S5II and S1R II, you still need to do some post work and everything. The thing now is the S1R II might not require as much work as the S5II. Is that worth the extra money? You decide and everything. I think now depends on your use case, from person to person, and then you see what fits for you. Yeah, so I hope that helps in the practical sense with the videos I've been posting and everything. Now I'll give you a tip. What I will do, if I really need the S1R II, then I'll rent it for the period that you need it for. That's what I did for this video, and it was worth it. And because you might not always need that high end photography element, but when you do, plan ahead and rent rather than buying all that. So yeah, that's one way to see it. Yeah, so that's me. And if you like what you've heard, and you like this kind of stuff, practical stuff, not super techy, go ahead and like, subscribe, do all them good stuff. Give me money, make me rich, and I can make you rich. I'll put affiliate, I can never pronounce this one, affiliate links in the description for anyone to buy. And the Lumix S5II, the Lumix S1R II, or the lenses I've used, maybe I'll put that as well. In fact, I'll put everything I've used, the lights I've used as well. So you could do good content like the way I'm doing. No, I'm just blabbing. Have a good one. Peace.